Today we will be discussing the Triton D8, Snap-on Diagnostics' newest scanner. You'll notice on this unit you have the ability to scan vehicles. You have OBD Direct, which is your emissions related codes. You also have the guided component test and the scope meter. The guided component test is use of the scope meter with actual laid out tests for you, and if there is a signature for the pattern, it lists it out for you. It also gives you the connector back view, so the back probe view with the wire colors and what the connector looks like, and also gives you an idea of the best place to test it and where the component is located. Quick lookups and vehicle data actually gives you oil specs and resets can be a fuel filter reset, a brake pad reset, a cabinet filter reset, spark plug reset on certain models, and tire and wheel information will give you the actual torque spec, what it's supposed to be when it comes to TPMS, if there's any information regarding that. So it's very nice to have that addition on your scanner at your fingertips. Going into the actual scanner, we have coverages on this unit for over 40 manufacturers, including Harley-Davidson. So with this unit, you would have coverage on most major manufacturers and models that you would have coming to your shop. The demonstration we have is for a 2014 Chevy Tahoe. So we will pick the 2014 Chevy Tahoe and actually go into the demonstration for it. When a new vehicle comes in, hitting the code scan button is the most effective way to actually look at the vehicle. The code scan button will actually go through and scan all the different modules on the vehicle and let you know a report when it gets done. The really good feature with this model is it has access to the Altus drive. So when you get done with this scan and you see the progress bar as it moves across here, it will actually automatically save this scan and upload it to the Altus drive if you have that set up. With this, you'll be able to be doing pre and post scans to show your customers, show the insurance, and just kind of keep track of your work and be able to, a lot of times, justify a diagnostics charge. Once this scan is done, what we'll do is go ahead and look at the engine and see we have two codes, a P300 misfire random code and a P0121 throttle position code. So once it's done, you'll notice it pops up and it saves it automatically. So I can go to the engine. We'll take a look at that. Now you'll notice it shows the 7 codes throughout the system. It shows the most common repair right next to it, and then there's technical service bulletins. With the most common repair, now you can actually change how the graph looks to look at the information how you wish. The technical service bulletins, there are 3. We'll just look at the middle one here, and it's pulling the information down. The nice thing about this unit, the Apollo D8 and the Zeus unit, is they have intelligent diagnostics, which will go through and check all the technical service bulletins for you. What that helps you do is actually stay at the vehicle and make sure you don't miss a technical service bulletin. So this is a technical service bulletin about a misfire from GM, and it has pictures about carbon buildup. So if I was explaining to a customer why I was having to do this work, to be handy, you can look at the picture, you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can set the zoom however you want, and be able to explain to the customer why you're having to do the job you're doing, and it'll also save you time knowing what job it is you need to do based on the technical service bulletin. Like I said, we have multiple codes in this vehicle. We'll look at one of the other codes, the P0121 throttle position code. And you notice the graph changed, and it went from 3 technical service bulletins to just 1 for this code. When you read this technical service bulletin, it lets you know that once the throttle is replaced or once the throttle is cleaned, that you need to do repairs at the end. Let's see if we actually needed to repair the throttle. We would go down to the guided component test, and we'll actually plug in, and you would use the channel 1 or channel 2 with the ground here and go in there and test the actual component. When you got done, functional set tests and resets, instead of having to go through the 100+ functional tests, it will actually filter down to about 5 or 6. Now, if you notice at the bottom, you still have access to all the different functional tests that are available in this vehicle, but you only need to do and look at one of the ones at the top, like an idle learn reset. That technical service bulletin is for letting you know to do the idle learn reset once you're done fixing this problem, either cleaning the throttle body or replacing it. If you went ahead and left out of here and looked at your data, the data from the main screen, looking at the smart data, it'll let you know to do this at idle, and at operating temperature is the best way to test this. And what the smart data does is it takes all the information in the vehicle, compares it with what Chevy in this case knows about this vehicle, and it records. That's the noise of it recording the video for you as it records the PIDs. You'll notice that it puts flags next to things that you need to watch, and it'll put a blue flag in this case, and a red flag next to something, a sensor or PID parameter identifier, that is out of spec. Now, what's nice is you notice I only have about 18 to 20 different pieces of information, where if I went just to the data stream, I'd have probably closer to 200. So Intelligent Diagnostics on this unit, the Apollo D8, and the Zeus will actually go through and filter the data for you and give you a list of information that you need pertaining to this year, make, and model and this code to help you work faster and be more accurate with your diagnostics. The advantage with this unit, obviously this unit and the Zeus, is you have the guided component tester, so you can go in there and actually test the component on the vehicle to see if it's faulty.
We're going to look at a guided component test on the Triton D8. This will be the same as if you're doing the test on a Modus Edge, Modus Ultra, or a Vantage Ultra. You notice we've got a 2005 Chevy Tahoe here, and we're going to look at the throttle. So we want to check out the throttle motor, and I've already gone ahead and put in some pins for sake of time. So we're going to go to the engine and go through here. There's all different sensors you can test. We're going to throttle. We're actually going to go to the throttle motor. Component information explains to us how it works, what it does, and it gives you a picture of what the connector view is and the different wire colors. It tells you the best location to test it. It also tells you where the component is located. A lot of times that can be really helpful, because the best location to test it isn't always where the component is located. So if you notice here, it set up the test for you, and I'll change the screen up, and it says connect the yellow lead to the throttle motor control number 1, which is, if you look down there, it's the pin A, so the yellow wire. So yellow on yellow. Then we're going to connect the black to motor control number 2, which is the brown wire. And when we connect those together, and we go ahead and turn on the scope, you'll see we actually have a pattern here from the engine. Now, if you want to compare that, you actually can change it and move down. Because it's a signature test, you can actually set it up and see what the pattern should be on the scope. So you have a reference of what you're supposed to be looking at. So if you'll notice here, that pattern matches, because it says during snap transition, if I was actually able to snap the throttle while I was here, that you would have upwards and downwards movement because of the polarity of the motor. So with this, you know, as I keep just scrolling through, this is a guided test, so if there was an actual problem with the throttle, I could sit here and compare these two and see where the problem was when I was actually diagnosing the vehicle, instead of just putting a component on the vehicle. So it's very helpful. I could actually sit here if I wanted and compare that, and you could actually pause it And you can go back in time and take a look if you were to do a snap throttle and see what was going on.